Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to another episode of The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with JK47 and J Dash. We're going to keep talking Bucko baseball for you today. Some recent news says A.J. Burnett has been placed on the 15-day DL with right elbow inflammation. Who was the guy they brought up?
La Framboise.
Yeah, I can't say his name. I can only speak English. But before that, Burnett's last 4 starts, I believe his ERA was like an 8.46. So he has struggled mightily, especially after the All-Star break. Before the All-Star break, man, he was on fire. I don't know. Maybe he's just mad because he didn't get to play in the All-Star game.
Oh, I doubt that's it. Look, he came into the season saying this was his last season. And then, actually, coming into the season, I wanted Volquez in the rotation over Burnett. Now, as the season went along, I changed my mind, but I might actually be changing my mind back because Volquez is still pitching very well.
What you talking about, Willis?
And Burnett has fallen off. Look, he had a 2.11 ERA going into the break. That was tied for second best amongst qualified starters in baseball. He was selected to his first All-Star appearance. And then in his 3 starts since the All-Star break, 16 innings pitched, 32 hits, 18 earned runs, 3 jacks, still 3 walks. I mean, his walk rate is still down, and 14 Ks. The K rate's still there, but his control is off right now, and he's just not himself.
Is his head not in the game? He's
it's-
usually focused, so
Well, listen,
I don't really think that could be a big problem for him.
Well, listen, man, in his last start, he began the game out with an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. So I don't think it's his head. He is not a pitcher that throws 87 miles per hour. So there was something wrong there. And then he let up a 3-run homer to Marlon Byrd in that first inning. And this was a 15-5 loss, by the way, people. It was a terrible game. And really, Burnett gave him no shot to win this game. Now, his velocity did come back later in the game when he got pissed because of a base hit he allowed with the infield in when Hamilton was on third base when the score was 4-1. The Pirates were trying to save a run, and someone hit a base hit past Neil Walker.
Oh, hell no.
And A.J. Burnett flipped, dude. He was dropping F-bombs towards the dugout. He was
Believe it.
He was completely pissed off. I mean,
Fire and brimstone. This dude, I think that's where Garrett Cole gets all his craziness. He's watching AJ out there. He's like, man, I got to step up my crazy game.
and then he started bitching at the umpire because he didn't get a call he liked. And actually, it was a ball, too. I mean, it was very close, but it was a ball. And
He should have punched him.
I mean, you could say some of it's in his head. It definitely got to his head during the game, but there was definitely something wrong before that because that velocity to start the game, there was definitely something wrong. But after he got mad, he actually started throwing 94 mile an hour with his fastball, but his command still wasn't there. I mean, there's something wrong with his command right now. And then his velocity dropped back down into the high 80s. So there is definitely something up with AJ. And he got put on the DL, so I mean, they could say elbow inflammation, though, just to give him some time off and bring someone else on this roster. So you don't know if it's actually an injury. Because, look, after this start where they got lit up, they went to AJ and said, what was the problem tonight? And he said, I'm 38 years old. That was his answer. And that's a very scary answer if you're a Pirate fan, because he's telling you, I'm old and I'm not going to pitch like I have pitched this season.
All he needs is one of them copper-toned sleeves, man. Ain't you never seen the infomercial at 2 a.m.? You slide that sleeve on, it's got copper wire in it. All of a sudden, you're freaking Hulk Hogan. You're going out there dropping N-bombs and throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. Win-win.
Well, look, this stretch he had, this 3-game stretch where he let up 18 runs in 16 innings. It is actually the worst stretch by a Pirate this season. Worse than Jeff Locke pitched in any stretch. Worse than Charlie Morton has pitched in any stretch. So there is definitely something up with him. His ERA went from 2.11 to 3.06 over those 3 starts. That is the 3rd best ERA in this rotation now. He had the 2nd best amongst qualified starters 3 starts ago. Now he doesn't even have the 2nd best in his own rotation.
He felt bad for Liriano. Liriano was getting a little upset, so he just had a couple bad starts to make him look better, that's all.
Do you remember
Team
me
player.
saying earlier in this season I trust Francisco Liriano more than I trust A.J. Burnett when Burnett was still killing it?
It's bollocks.
Well, look,
Liriano's
opponents, they're hitting
arm's gonna fall
277 off of Burnett now. Just because of those 3 games, his average against went the whole way up to 277, and that is not a good average over a course of a season. That means people are hitting you.
15 days for a pitcher. That's what, about 3 starts?
Here's the thing I noticed actually about Burnett actually going through the season. Yeah, while his ERA was actually super low, obviously with the 2.11 ERA going into the break, there were a lot of starts where he was actually giving up a lot of base runners, where he was actually having to pitch himself out of trouble. Yeah. When you're giving up that many base runners and that many people are getting on, that many people are getting in scoring position, sustaining an ERA that low becomes next to impossible.
Yeah, I mean, we said it from the beginning of the season. There's no way he's going to keep that ERA down around 2. But we also didn't expect it to blow up in his face like this, him get put on a DL. They just trade for J.A. Happ, so he might be put in the rotation. They just traded for Joe Blanton. He might be put in the rotation. We don't know how it's going to work out. But when he comes off the DL, I'm not ready to write this guy off. I'm going to give him another shot in this rotation, obviously. And the Bucks, really, if you ask me, I think they put all their chips on the table with A.J. Burnett after this deadline, because they didn't go out to get another starter that compares with the top 3. And they really believed A.J. Burnett was going to turn it around, and his last start showed he didn't turn it around. So I think they put all the chips on the table with him and really believe he was going to be okay. We're going to have to see if it turns out like that or not, though.
He could just be tired. He needs a nap. Get him a rocking chair for the dugout.
Here's the thing, though, man. People were suggesting, he might be getting tired. He might need a couple starts off in the rotation. I see it the other way. I think the problem was the All-Star break. He needed to keep pitching every 5th day. He got all that time off. He has fun at the All-Star game. I mean, he didn't even get in the game to pitch. So he didn't pitch for a while. He comes out, and now he's not pitching well. He went off his norm, you know what I mean? And he didn't pitch for a long stretch, and that's when he started getting hit up. I think it would have actually been better if he had just kept pitching every 5th day. But this happens a lot at the All-Star break. We said it many a times this season. So people have good first halves, terrible second halves. People have terrible first halves, and then they turn it around and have great second halves. You never know what's going to happen. Again, I'm not done with A.J. Burnett. When he comes off this DL, I'm putting him right back in the rotation.
They got no choice but to put him back in the rotation.
If J.A. Happ pitches great or Joe Blanton pitches great, you never know. But even so, I'm going to move Morton out of the rotation, and I'm going to put A.J. Burnett back in because I believe they need this guy to be pitching well by the time they hit the playoffs, because they need that 1-2-3 combo.
Especially with their sporadic offense.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, man, but every offense, you look at the Cardinals right now, man.
They have no offense right now.
They ended up winning
9-8.
Yeah, they ended up winning 9-8 yesterday, so they did put up runs, but they weren't scoring runs at all there for a while. They might have lost Matt Holliday for the season. That's not going to help. So, I mean, every team goes through their ups and downs. It's part of baseball. Andrew McCutchen goes through his ups and downs. Bryce Harper goes through his ups and downs. Mike Trout goes through his ups and downs. It's just a part of baseball. And when you put it all together, the Pirates are still one of the top 5 best offenses in the National League. And that's counting Colorado and Arizona, who I don't even consider it in the same category because they just play in hitters' ballparks. Where, I mean, you look at Colorado, you could say their offense is better because they're scoring more runs. But are they really better? I mean, it's just a terrible team. But in the end, I mean, there is no elite offense in the National League. I would say the closest to it would be either the Pirates or the Nationals. And I'm not going to say either one. I think there's one elite team or elite offense in baseball, and that's the Toronto Blue Jays right now. I mean, really, you look at the Pirates. Well, let's not get into offense. Let's talk A.J. Burnett here. I guess we're done with him.
That's it. We're done with him, just like the Pirates are done with him. No,
we're not done with it.
We're done with A.J. on the 15-day DL here at the Spread. Folks, you ain't going to hear about this dude for 3 more weeks. Fans, if you like what we had to say, hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Hit me up on Twitter at betjimthewin. Go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Check out the website at thespreadnews.simplesite.com. Go to our YouTube page, subscribe to that, like that, and just keep throwing us comments. Throw me a frickin' bone here.